Hey everybody, I'm back. Sorry for the being gone for a couple weeks. The one week, well, first I want to give a great shout out to Elisa from Paperbit. She generously found me a copy of hashtag on the booktube shelves July pick, which is Meg by Steve Alden, and she sent it to me. So thank you, Elisa. Um, so the one week, not last week, but the week before, I was sick. I don't know what was going on. I was feeling overwhelmed. I wasn't really reading. So last weekend we had planned this trip, and it was like an early birthday gift for our daughter. So Friday night we drove to Sudbury, and we went to the Sublime and the Offspring concert. There you go. Um, One of our favorite bands. And then, so that was Friday. Saturday, and we went with a couple of people. Saturday we drove to Toronto, and we were too tired, so we just pretty much sat in the hotel room, watched movies, and went to bed. Sunday we went downtown Toronto shopping at the Eaton Centre, and I got nothing major, but I didn't get any actual books. But I was looking for the Hannah Carlson coloring books, and they didn't have any in stock, which is surprising because Chapter's head office is Toronto, and the store is 2 levels up in this massive shopping mall, and they didn't have any. So we kind of like this movie, so my husband said pick it up anyway. So The Nightmare Before Christmas coloring book, it's actually quite thick, but I don't know how I'm gonna do it, but we'll see. And then, so this other one that I had my eyes on, I decided to pick up, and that was The Twilight Garden by Maria Troll. I don't think it's Trolle, it's Troll or Troll, but I mean, it's gorgeous. So I picked up those two. And then we went back to our hotel room and then back to downtown Toronto. And this band I've seen before when I was 16. My husband has never seen them. So the 2 opener bands was Volbeat and Avenged Sevenfold. And then we went to see Metallica. And it blew away the first show. It was, wow. It was a great show. First time I seen them was when I was 16, back in 92. So I told my husband this show blew that one away. So anyways, then we came home Monday night from Toronto, and while we were down in Toronto, I found out something, and I'm not going to get into too many details, but it brought my anxiety up, and it made me fearful for my mom. And so I've been kind of upset and trying to figure out what I can do to not save her, but make her life a little bit easier. And so while I was doing that, I posted this on Instagram, and this one page it's not me thinking, it's not me, this is just me slapping down color. I don't care what color I grab, I just grab it and slap it down. And I can get rid of everything that's on my mind. And while I was doing that, I came up with a solution. So it's just a bunch of circles really. But I slapped down a bunch of color and I came up with a solution. So I talked it over with my mom, and she's in agreement. So that's great. Once that solution was okayed by my mom, oh my hair, I was able to pick up books again and start reading, and I motored through. So thank God for that. So anyways, like I said, I'm not going to go through any details because even though the people don't watch this video, people don't need to know what's going on. So I might tell certain people, but no. So anyways, what have I been reading? Not much until a couple of days ago. So my son and I finished Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. And of course, we gave it a 5. It was long, but we are reading the next one, the Order of the Phoenix, and we've changed how we're reading. So we used to read for half an hour and that was it. So we've decided, or I've changed it, because he needs to up his reading comprehension. So we start an hour before bedtime and I read a full chapter, and then whatever time is left, he reads his own books. So he gets an hour of reading every day, which that's enough for him. Not that he, we're trying to get him into books that subject matter where he likes, so he will pick up a book more often. So I then finished Mrs. Lincoln's Rival by Jennifer Chiaverini. This one, I gave a 3. It's about a woman whose father is a senator, and they want him to be president, or she wants him to be president, so that she could be the hostess and the first lady of the White House. But instead, Abraham Lincoln was voted in, and so her rival is Mary Todd Lincoln. I didn't like the main character. She was full of herself, yeah, she was full of herself, but the writing was good. It was just too much of a history textbook rather than a story. The story was there, but it was little bits here, little bits there, and it was more like, this is what happened, this is what happened, this is what happened. And I didn't like that. I mean, I like historical novels and I like historical stories around historical events, but I needed more story than historical events. So there's that. Then I picked up Mrs. Lincoln's Dressmaker by Jennifer Chiaverini. And this goes the same time period, but it goes from when Abraham Lincoln was first voted in and Mary Todd Lincoln got this freed colored woman named Elizabeth Hobbs. Elizabeth Hobbs Keckley. She was born a slave and she bought her freedom. So she is a modiste, which is she sews the clothing and dresses the women. And it goes until several years, it pretty much does her entire life. Whereas this one was just up until Abraham Lincoln died. This one was the entire life from when Abraham Lincoln was voted in until the death of Mrs. Keckley. And I like this one more. There was more story to it. There was more, I wouldn't say intrigue, but there was just more substance story-wise in this than there was in that. So I gave this a 4. And then I finished Murder in Little Shendon by A.H. Richardson, and I gave it a 4. I loved it. And I will do a complete review, so I'm not going to say much about it because I also will have a giveaway that the publisher will either give an e-copy or a full hardback copy, or not hardback, physical copy to the winner. So I have to do that. But this is like an old style cozy romance. It is a cozy romance in the sense that they are not investigators who are solving this crime. But it's cute. I loved it. The only problem I had was, like, this was published in 2015. And it needs more editing. There were a lot of spelling mistakes. There was a lot of missing quotation marks when people were speaking, and a couple of words that were missing. I can get past that. I know almost every single book I read, there's a mistake in it. So, but there's quite a few in here. So other than that, though, the story was great. I'm looking forward to reading more of it. So look forward to that. I'm hoping to do that sometime this week. I know I've had my Q&A video. I filmed it, and I don't know if I'm liking it so much, so I might have to film it again. Like I said, busy, overwhelmed, stressed. Anyways, so I also, this is the book that I was very slowly getting through. Once I got the solution, I flew through it. So, The Spy Mistress by Jennifer Chiaverini. It's probably the month of. But I figured I'd pick this one up. And it's for the Triple RC challenge that I'm still trying to finish. But I figured since I was already in headspace from the other two, because it's the same time period, I figured I'd pick it up. And this is, again, just pretty much from when Abraham Lincoln was voted in, or just before, up until her death. But it pretty much from when Abraham Lincoln dies to her death is just one chapter. So it's pretty much just the Union versus the Confederacy. And this is about a spinster woman whose fiance dies very quickly, so she decides not to marry ever again, or she decides to be a spinster. And she ends up living in Richmond, which is a Confederate state, and she's a Unionist. So they have to hide that fact, and then she eventually becomes a spy for the Union. And I thought it was interesting. I gave it a 4 because there was more story to it than textbook history. So the only problem I have with these 3 books is because I'm Canadian, I only know the bare minimum of American history. Like, I know most things, but I don't know the finer details of them. I know more, I think, about English history or England than I do. Well, no, it's about the same. Yeah, it's about the same. But so it's nice seeing like the background stuff with the people. I had to again keep going through Google Images to find out what these people looked like, just to get a sense of who they were. So yes, she remains a spinster all her life. So that's what I finished in the last 2 weeks. What I'm currently reading, if you hear noises, it's my son and the cat. So we're reading Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, and we are like 25% done. Yep. So they just kind of met Umbridge, and I've already known, this is the first time reading this, but I already know that everybody hates her, and when she stands up and interrupts Dumbledore, it really ticked me off, but you know. So I'm also reading Bared to You by Sylvia Day and 50 Shades of Grey. I don't think there's the BDSM in it, but it's spicy. So this is for the Triple RC challenge. Now, the only other book that I received, and I didn't do a box opening because, like I said, it's just been too stressful. I received The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue by Mackenzie Lee. I've heard it's really funny. Sometimes I'm a stickler for historical accuracy, so I don't know how I'm going to take this one because it's LGBTQ plus, and back in the 1800s, I wouldn't say it doesn't exist, but it was very well hidden because that was considered a sin. Not that I'm saying that it was bad or anything. I don't know how I'm going to take it because of me being such a historical romance reader. So we'll see. I might just have to tell myself it's just a book and get over it. So, what do I plan on reading? Well, I still have a couple of books to read for the Triple RC challenge, and I know how much I have to read per day, and I will probably push through it. The one book I have on hold is a ebook, and it's just a prequel to the Selection series, and it's The Queen. If I can't get that, then I've already read The Guard, but there was another one, The Prince. We'll see if I can get that one. So, besides that one, I have 5 more books to read in a week. and because my reading has come back now. I wasn't in a slump. I was just, my mind could not focus on what I was reading for very long spurts of time. So that's why. But now that this is, the solution has come, now I can put it out and read. So I still have to read Beautiful Oblivion by Jamie McGuire. Naughty or Nice by Melanie George, and these I tend to be able to go through really quick. And I know it's weird, but these 300-page books, it takes me a little longer than these 300-page books. Anyways, moving on. Jennifer Ashley's Penelope and Prince Charming. And yet again, How to Flirt with a Naked Werewolf by Molly Harper. I took this with me on the trip, and I did get some reading time, but not as much as I was expecting because we were busy. And finally, Dark Fever by Karen Marie Monning. So that is what I plan on reading this week. Yeah, so that should be interesting. I hope that explains where I was. I want to thank Crystal and Catherine for reaching out to me to see how I was doing, and yeah, I'm fine. Just sometimes I need to take a step back because my priorities are my mom, my family, my kids. So when a bunch of stuff is going on with them, I can't focus on anything else. That's part of my my mental health. I need to prioritize, and that's what I do. So I take a step back from something that is more of a hobby. Making videos is not a priority when it comes to my mom's health, which is starting to go downhill. So that is my priority. So I hope you understand. If I do go missing, I will probably let the girls from on the hashtag hashtag on the booktube shelf girls know, so that they can make a little comment about where I am, which I didn't do that this time because I was just frazzled. So I hope everybody has an awesome week. Let me know what you guys are reading. If you've read any of these and liked them or didn't like them, whatever, just let me know. But yeah, thanks for sticking around, and I will see you next time. Bye.